That brings us to Alcorn State University head coach Melvin Fears. Is Coach Fears on the call?
Yes, I'm on the call.
Good morning, Coach.
Good morning.
Congratulations. Got your first win of the season against Mississippi Valley over the weekend. If you could just kind of summarize that game for us and then talk about this week you head to Texas Southern, another important SWAC contest.
Well, we feel blessed about another great opportunity, but had a chance to have our folks all here at home, and Coach Marino Castle's name goes up on the stadium, and our illustrious president, Dr. Walter Washington, had the Parkway named after him. So we were all excited, elated about it, but Mississippi Valley came down and their coaches did a good job with respect to being very, very competitive. We certainly came in and we started fast, then we got a little lethargic, and then all of a sudden we picked it up a little bit, and then at the end of the day, football games are won by football players making football plays, and we had some young men came in and did an excellent job. Our quarterback was a little injured, so we tried to hold him out of there as long as we could. Darius Smith did a good job for us. We ended up scoring 10 points. He went 7 for 11 for 140 yards in the first half, but then they got a couple of breaks here and there, and then it started to be a dogfight like it is in the Southwestern Athletic Conference every week, and then we came back with Brandon Bridge, who had an outstanding afternoon to go along with Terrence Lewis, our wide receiver that made some plays. We ran the ball very well as well. I just feel like in order for you to be successful in this league, you're going to eventually have to run the ball at some point in time, and this week was the first week we had an opportunity to have all our players here. Our offensive line was intact, and certainly we're still going through a bunch of growing pains, but I think they played almost a full ball game. We still got to get them to play for 60 straight minutes. But overall, we had a great week. It was we still got a bad taste in our mouth about being up 20-10 and letting one get away. So we're still working hard, and we're just going to continue to let the chips fall where they may.
Talk a little bit about Texas Southern heading to Houston on Saturday.
Outstanding football team. Very, very aggressive. Has two outstanding running backs to go along with a very, very stiff defense. I think overall the wide receivers are good at every level. Coach them has done a great job overhauling that football team, and they're going to be a tough task to go into their place and come out there with a win. But I think our guys will be up for the challenge.
Coach, talk a little bit about Bridge and just kind of emerging. You said he was dinged up a little bit, but just kind of his maturity in his second year now that he's got 3 games under his belt.
Well, I thought the opportunity to settle there for a half really helped them from a mentality standpoint, and really just about matriculating toward being an outstanding quarterback. And he's learning some things to sit in the pocket a little bit more, don't be so run happy. A similar situation was if you saw the game last night with Michael Vick, he did a good job standing in the pocket. We got to do the same thing with Brandon Bridge, get him to step up and be a little bit more patient and don't be so run happy. And if you run happy, you will get hurt. So certainly he had a couple of dings, but I thought he came back, was a little bit more patient, understood the things that we wanted to do, and as a result, he had a pretty good ball game.
And is Terrence Lewis becoming that big play threat that your teams are usually accustomed to?
Yes, it's a wide receiver oriented offense, but certainly Terrence Lewis has done a really good job doing the things that he needs to do. We need plays. He's made those plays, but I think we got a really good group of wideouts. We just got to keep working hard to get better every day. And one of the things that's important is that we brought a guy in to coach him, and Tremont Douglas, who is as good as it gets when you start talking about playing wide receiver. So I think if they keep listening to him and do the things that he's asking for them to fit into our system, they'll get better every week.
Coach Spears, Loud Chatterbox here, the voice of the Tigers. Talk about any concerns that you have in dealing with that Texas Southern 212 defense.
Well, everybody has a lot of concerns because they're going to be bringing that heat. All that's why they call them the 212. The good thing about it was that I had an opportunity to be there with them, so I know most of the players over there, but certainly they've done an excellent job. It's going to be a high-pressure rise type defense that Coach Ramsey playing. He's going to come in here and get at us. It's going to be our task here is that we're going to have to try to protect our quarterback, and that's really what it's going to boil down to.
Also, Coach, have you had a chance to check out the Texas College versus Texas Southern tape at all yet?
No, I haven't. We haven't received it yet, but when we get it, we'll take a look at it. I just know, you got Johnny Hollins, who's over from Baton Rouge, who we know very well. And then you got number 7, who plays defensive end, who's an excellent player. You got Billy playing in the middle, so it's going to be a tough task for us. Those guys can really get at you, and they really play sound football, which is what I really like about them.
Coach, if you could talk about the emergence of your defense.
Well, our defense we still have nine first-year guys that are playing on our defense. We're getting better every week. We just got to consistently do all the little things, alignment issues, making sure that we understand schematically of what we're asking them to do. And I think it's there again. And when you got really has great athleticism, then it gives you an opportunity to be successful. And we have some guys that can basically do that. So I'm elated about our defense too.
Coach, how do you feel about the progress of that offensive line for Alcorn State?
Well, this week was the first time we had them all together. So we certainly are getting better. It's all about, an offensive line play. It's a certain gelling that has to go along with the communication factor or just playing with those guys. Our line coach, Marshall Hayes, is doing a good job with it because we've had so many missing matches in the last 3 weeks. So hopefully we finally got a group that can play together, and then we'll look to get better every week. We'll work hard this week to see whether or not we can combat a number of the things that Coach Ramsey and the Texas Southern Tigers will throw at us.
Hey, Coach Spears, good morning. This is Charles Edmond. How you doing?
Good. How are you?
Great. Talk about that 1-2 punch in the backfield for Texas Southern. Number 1 and number 2 is rushing, and Marcus Wright and Martin Gilbert. Talk about that 1-2 punch.
Yeah, I know him very well because I had a chance not only to bring him there, but coach him as well. Marcus Wright is a physical guy that can really run it between the tackles, and then they come back with Martin Gilbert, who really as good as it gets, a low 4'4" guy that has strength, speed. So we really got our work cut out to try to shut those guys down, and they've really been doing a good job. If you look at the 2 games that they played in, they were average. One had 122, the other one had 107. So it's going to be a tall order for a very young defense.